Okay, so I'm going to start by building a database for a shop. Now, I know you've done different subjects, different topics for your businesses. I think this is one that fits into the bigger picture and one that everybody can relate to and take something from. So I'm going to do a sports shop. So first thing I need to do is, well, I've already created the database, just a blank database, Mr. B Sports Shop. So I need to start thinking now about the tables I'm going to put in the database. Well, the first one is, the obvious one is going to be employees. So I'm going to go ahead and create that table. So I'll drop it into design view, okay, and I'll call this one employees. And into design view. So we start with the default primary key, which is the employee ID. Okay, we make that an auto number, and that is already the primary key. I'm also going to change the format to open speech mark, no I'm not, to EMP, open speech mark, and then 1, 2, 3 zeros and close the speech mark. Now that format will give the primary key the EMP 001, 002, 003. Okay, so on all your primary keys, if you start with an abbreviation of whatever the table is, and then followed by the open speech mark, 3 zeros, and close the speech mark. So we'll start now adding some just general contact information. So we'll start with the employee's title. Okay, we'll start with their first name. Okay, their surname. We'll have their date of birth. We'll have their address. Okay, well what we'll do is, instead of putting address, we'll have different address fields. So we'll say house, name or number, street name, town, we'll put city, postcode, and then we'll have, we won't worry with country because we'll say we're all within the UK, and then we'll have their mobile number, we'll have email address, we'll have their job title, we could have the date they were employed, and we could have the salary, how much they earn. So now we need to go down the records that we've added and think about appropriate data types and any validation. So title, well, we create a lookup for that one, so we'll come back to that one in a second. First name, so how many characters or letters should we have in somebody's first name? We don't want to make it too long, but we don't want to make it too short either. So I think 25 would be a reasonable amount there. The same for a, well, surname could be a long double-barreled surname, so we'll put 50 in that one. Date of birth, we'll change that to number, and we'll change that to short date. It's not going to be number, it's going to be time and date, and it's going to be the short date format. There it is. House name or number, we'll leave that as text. Street name, we'll leave that as text. Now we don't want all of these as 255 characters, so we'll put them to, I think 25 is probably fair enough there. Again, we could have a long street name, unlikely, but we'll put 50 characters in. The town, we could put 50 in there as well. However, there is that place in Wales, which I can't say, which has got a really, really long name. Now, I don't know how many characters are in that name, but just to play it safe, if we Google it, so the longest place name in Wales, so there we are, longest place name in Wales, I'll find it. Aha, there it is. Right, so that word there. Okay, if I copy the name, which is actually the web address or the URL as well, I won't include the .info, but I'll copy that. Okay, and to save counting it, I'll paste it into Word. Do it the quick way. And if we go to review and word counts, yeah, we can see 60 characters. So I think 60 characters is the longest we could have for a town or a place name. Okay, so we go back to our database and we'll change the town name to 60. We'll do the city to 60. The postcode would be 8. Now the mobile number, that will be a number. Okay, so we've changed that to number, and we'll add some validation here as well. Now you do need to go through making sure that every field in every table has got suitable validation, and this is only an example. But the validation rule on this one, as it's a mobile number, we want to make sure it can only be 11 characters or 11 numbers. Okay, so on this one we'll put like open speech mark, and then we need to do 11 question marks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and close the speech mark. And then we'll add some text for the validation as well, so that if the user puts in the wrong number format or the wrong information, we can advise them on how to correct it. So we can say the mobile number must contain, contain 11 numbers. There we are. So we can move now on to email address. We'll leave that as text. Job title. Okay, we could create a lookup for that. We could have a table of job titles and look up as we're going to do with the person's title. So we'll come back to that one in a minute. Date employed. Okay, so we're going to change that one to a time and date. And again, we'll put that into the short date format. There it is. And their salary as well. And we'll put the salary as a currency. There we are. So now we've got our first table. So I'll just save on that. Okay, and that's our first table for our employees. So we did say that we'd want to have a lookup for the title and a lookup for the job title. I'll just do a quick lookup for title. Okay, so very quickly I'm going to create a new table. Okay, and I'm going to go into design view. I'm going to call this one title. Okay, well I'll call it TBL title. Okay, and the ID will be title ID, so title ID, and the format there I'll put TLE 000 for that one there. Okay, and then we'll add a new field and we'll just call it title. There we are. So I'm going to quickly jump into datasheet view. Okay, got to save the table. Okay, and the titles I'll add are Mr., Mrs., Miss, and we'll add DR for doctor as well. You could add some more. Okay, that's fine there. And then we'll save that table. Okay, so if we drop back now to the employees table, we'll create a lookup to pick that data up. Okay, so we'll go back into design view. Okay, and under title we'll choose Lookup Wizard. We'll choose the option I want the lookup field to get the values from another table or query, so we'll click on next. We'll choose the table, so we're going to choose table TBL title. Okay, click on next. We'll take just the titles, click on next. We don't want to sort it into any particular order. We'll click on next, and we have a quick preview there of Mr, Mrs, Miss and Doctor, so we know we've got the right data set. Click on next, and the label for the lookup is title, so we click on finish. Okay, the table must be saved before the relationship can be created. Save now, yes. Okay, and there we are. So when I go back to my data view and I click under title, there's the information from the titles table. It's there as well. Okay, and if I have a quick look under database tools and relationships, I can see I've got my employees table. Okay, that's the one I've just created, and I've got my titles table there, and we can see the relationship between title and the title ID there. Right, if we close that one down, don't want to save the layout, that's just the layout of how I've organised things there. Yes, we will. Okay, and if we go back to the design view of our staff or our employees table. Now, I did say you would need to add validation. Okay, what you add validation to is your choice. I've put on Moodle, so if you log into this is the Year 13 coursework course, and down here there are some examples of input masks and some examples of validation. So it'd be a good idea to have a look at this document here, have a look at the different examples of validation, or you can Google it, but they are there for you, so that you can start adding validation to your database. So it's taken me now around about 10 minutes to create this table whilst I'm talking about it as well, and also very quickly the titles table. So you've got a list of the tables that you're going to need in your database. I'm going to pause my screencast now. I'm going to head and I'm going to create the additional tables that I need, and then we can come back to it once I've got a complete set of tables.